Welcome to the Press Box. I'm your host, C. Will. The Press Box, your number one Razorback sports platform. Again, I want to give a special thanks to all the viewers who are watching our podcast, who watched the last podcast on yesterday. You could have been anywhere else watching whomever's podcast, but you chose to watch our content, and we really, really, truly appreciate that. We also got some engagements. We got some viewers to comment, and we are a rather new channel. So we know that we're not going to have the following right off, but our content is good. We do our research. We try to be well spoken, and we try to give context to everything that we talk about. We don't just get on here and start talking. We try to tell you the why behind the what. We don't just say what it is. We try to tell you why it is. So we feel like we're number one because of that. So we want to encourage you to get on the good foot. And everybody, for some reason, they like to pride themselves on all the brands that they are aware of, but don't sleep on the press box because we coming. And like I said, feel free to comment, you know, um, give your 2 cents, give your opinions. I mean, all of those are welcome and we do respond. So go ahead and give us what you got. Today we have a terrific show. Today we have a fabulous show. We're going to talk about Razorback football. We're going to do some Razorback football talk. We're going to look at Coach Sam Pittman's press conference. We're going to start it off by watching his press conference yesterday. We're going to take a look at the guys in practice yesterday so we can try to see if the guys have the energy, the excitement, the passion after a heartbreaking loss on Saturday. So we're going to take a look at the practice and we're going to preview the matchup a little bit, because I hadn't really just looked at it fully, but we're going to get an early preview of the matchup with Alabama on Saturday at 11 o'clock in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So like I said, we have a blast of a show. And if you are a true Razorback fan, you don't want to miss it. But before we start, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to pound the like button, pound the thumbs up if you appreciate this good Razorback content, and if you appreciate all the content that we do. And if you do like our content, you like the direction that we're going, please subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a single episode from the Press Box. And you can add us at Pressbox247. So, like I said, we'll start this show off by taking a look at Coach Pittman, and we're going to listen to a few things about what he has to say about Alabama this week and about the team in their loss to Ole Miss.
A great team, very physical, big. Milrose playing really.
He's talking about Alabama. We all know that Alabama, every year, they're going to be big. They're going to be physical in the trenches. They're going to have good offensive linemen. They're going to have good defensive linemen. They're going to be disciplined in most cases. And you know that you're going to have a war.
Really good. Their defense is playing exceptional.
It is.
Got a huge offensive line. Burton is a real deal out at wide receiver. The kind of running back wise with McClellan and Williams. Both of them are really, really good runners. Bond's an exceptional wide receiver. So they've got, they're Alabama, and playing really well right now. Big physical football team. But we're excited to go over there and play the game.
Well, I mean, we'll see if they're excited because the Hogs haven't beat Alabama since 2006, 18 years, and that was a year before Nick Saban came. So we haven't beaten them since Nick Saban been the coach. And the way that they're playing now, it's going to take a hell of a coaching uh, motivation speech and a hell of a week of practice to make them feel, especially after losing four straight, to feel like that they can change the tides of the history that has been in Alabama's favor.
So you said you would say after you watched the tape how you thought the O-line going back to how you had it, how that worked. What did you see? And then as you address the run game and the offense going forward, what has to happen for you?
Well, there was so much movement.
So I want to talk a little bit about movement. I mean, movement. I mean, a lot of defenses move. I mean, it's not nothing that is, rocket science to figure out. Well, maybe it is for our team, but I think that this team probably lacked athleticism on the edges, and they're slow to react to edge pressure. And I think that these guys that are playing tackles, especially our left tackle with Chambly, I mean, they know that they struggle with that. So that's why you get a lot of the penalties because they know they're going up against athletic guys on the defensive line. You also got to look at the environments that we've been playing in, and those are factors, that work against an inexperienced lineman that haven't been through many wars. The movement has caused problems. Because when they move, we don't know who to block. You'll find yourself double teaming somebody that doesn't need to be double teamed, and then the guy that needs to be double teamed in the backfield making the tackle. So I don't know if you can fix movement in a week or handling movement, but I can bet you this: Alabama is going to be doing a lot of movement. That much we know.
That we couldn't stay in front of them. Couldn't get basically the prybacks and some things like that could open some holes up. We just weren't quick enough to stay in front of them. We practiced and knew what they were going to do in their mid front to their on player, and it just seemed like we were overreaching that situation. It was almost like we weren't quite seeing the game like we had practiced it. Maybe their movement was faster than what the scout team was able to do.
Well, of course, coach. I mean, if you're using the scout team to be the other team on defense, then no, it's not going to be as fast because if they were faster than that, they would be playing for you on your first team. So, I just think that you have to know what you're up against, and you have to make sure that the guys know what they're up against. And sometimes you can't simulate what you're going to see. So in other words, it's okay to get beat, but figure out why you're getting beat. Don't make the same mistake twice. That's basically my thing on everything. I mean, it's okay to make a mistake. I mean, we're not born, perfect. We don't know everything, So through failure, sometimes that's when we learn. And me personally, I know I've had some, and I've learned a lot through all of it. So
do. But I think, um, because of the age of some of the guys, I don't know that we can
Right.
make the moves and stay with the
The
moves
age. I just
that
said
we
that.
made. There may be one or two, but I think with Bo being a veteran there at center, I think we've got to start back there and then
You
work
got to
from
keep
there.
your veteran at center.
Uh,
Yeah. So in the Ole Miss game, Coach Pittman changed the starting lineup of his linemen. I know he's a lineman coach. He feels that he can do things that a lot of people can't do or wouldn't do because he knows offensive line play. And I'm not saying he don't, but you don't see coaches that substitute his whole offensive line in the middle of the season and have people playing positions that they hadn't played all season. You don't see that. And when they said that he did that last game, I wasn't keen on it because it seemed so foreign. The guys wasn't blocking. You put a guy who was playing tackle and put him at center. Centers are typically your smartest linemen. Not saying that your linemen aren't smart. All of them are not smart, but typically your center is like your quarterback of the line. So if you're going to take somebody from left tackle and put him at center, then you already know that more than likely that's why KJ Jefferson is struggling to stay up because why would you set KJ up like that? In the long haul, somebody's going to take advantage of that. So, but he did go back to the original lineup, and they did block better as the game went on.
some of our problems in the RPO when we hand the ball off and we're not blocking a linebacker, and we hand the ball off and he makes a play. Sometimes it looks like an unblocked guy, which he is, but it's designed to throw the football if he's out of a area. And sometimes we handed the ball off, and that there was a couple, 2 or 3 times there that the guy made the play, and we weren't accounting for him. We were reading him. So got a lot of work to do in that area. I do think Ole Miss has a really good defense. They proved that when they played Alabama as well. I had a chance to watch that again. So we've got to get better. Our penalties, we're continue to work on that. It's we just got to keep the noise going all the time.
So about the penalties, in Arkansas's 4 losses, they had 10 or more penalties in the games against LSU, BYU, and Ole Miss. You can't beat yourself. That's to me a culture thing. If your culture is set to where that's not tolerated, then you're not going to have a problem with that. Not for more than a game, because penalties should not continuously cost you games. So we have to put that on you, Coach. And I like Coach. I'm not against Sam Pittman. He's a great guy. I love his interviews. I watch all of them because he's 100% honest most of the time with you, and he'll try his best to give you his best answer. He's an Arkansas guy, even though he's from Oklahoma. He has his retirement home in Hot Springs. So, I don't have an issue with Sam as a man, but, when it comes down to, you know, uh, critiquing and actually, being honest with, the decisions that he makes, I have to, call it like I see it. And those penalties, those are things that you can control. Sometimes you can't control the talent, like they couldn't control the defensive front that Texas A&M had when they played, and they won't be able to control the defensive front this week. But you can control those penalties, and who knows? Maybe if you had 10 or less penalties, maybe you get 2 out of those 3 games, and maybe instead of you being 2-4, maybe you are 4-2. or at least 3-3. So we got to be able to stop, beating ourselves. I mean, that's what makes losing, so much harder. I actually had a lesser problem with them losing to Texas A&M because they just dominated us. When you get dominated, you can't do anything. I mean, what can you say about getting dominated? But when you play as good as the other team and lose, that's a problem. And there's too many of those games that's like that.
I believe that might help. There's the rule on that a little bit is, we've got linebackers flinching, jumping, yelling, move several different times. I don't know if that's what the rule's intended for, but we've got to practice it like that is the rule and stay in there better.
Coach, I was wondering with Brady Latham specifically, what are you seeing from him on film that's maybe causing him to struggle a little bit this year?
Well, I mean, he's jumping. I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
I mean, Brady Latham is the most experienced guy that he has on the line.
Move. Not all the time, but a lot. He's had several, and
I mean, you don't expect that out of your most experienced guy. So that's why Coach Pittman, he don't have anything to say about that.
We kind of talked about it after the game on Saturday with, so many close losses. Is there, aside from penalties, is there maybe, a few other common denominators in those that you could, maybe turn those from losses to wins?
Well, I think offensively running the ball successfully, whatever that may be. I think this team here, Alabama, rushed for low hundreds on Ole Miss as well. Not as well, we didn't. But what I'm saying is the consistency of first down. We're just putting ourselves.
So yes, that's interesting. That's what's killing us on offense. That's what's making us not, be able to protect or do anything is because we can't get positive yards on first down. First down is, to me, just as important as third down because if you take advantage of first down, then you might not even get to a third down. First downs are important because they set the tone. And it's a down and distance game. A lot of times, we want to see the big plays to score. It's exciting to watch a big play or a big run, big pass. Scoring quick is kind of like what everybody likes to see, but the game hasn't changed. It's about down and distance. And I think that, the great teams, they use first down to their advantage because the more that you stay, in a manageable situation with yardage, your plays are going to work because you have favorable distance. But if you always have distance that is like negative or not manageable, then it's going to be harder for your plays to work. And not only that, you become predictable because if you don't get any yards on first down, I know that you're going to pass. And typically, teams know it too, and teams come with pressure on second down. They might get a sack on second down, or you may force a quick throw on second down. And then on third down, I know that you're going to pass again, so I'm probably coming with more people. And that's when they probably would sack KJ. So first downs is everything. And I think the fact that we lost our identity because we can't run the ball, that's what we really want to do, that on first downs, we don't know what to do. Because if we could run the ball, you could say it'd be 2nd and 6. Because I know we averaged way over 4 yards a carry, maybe 5 yards a carry in the pass. So if you can have a 2nd and 5 rather than a 2nd and 9, that makes a big difference.
In a hole all the time. We're not winning first downs, and a gain of 3 would get us to 2nd 7. We've been playing a lot of 2nd 10, 2nd 12, 2nd 13. So I think that would help us.
He's saying they're not even getting
with more
3
drives,
yards.
Sustain us some
let
drives.
alone 5.
Obviously, pretty consistent. We haven't been very good at scoring touchdowns
12,
in the red zone.
I'm blissing
when we get down there. We got a big turnover Saturday. I think it was on the 38, and kicked a field goal out of it. You know, that would have been a huge momentum for us if we would have went down and scored. We have to move the pocket. We have to move the pocket because
I agree with that. If you know that your line is not going to hold up and protect and give KJ time to throw, you got to get him out of the pocket. You got to get him rolling out. You got to get him on bootlegs. You have to move the pocket because they're not going to protect straight up. I mean, I've been wondering why come we don't throw more rollouts and bootlegs to where he's using his feet to buy him time and throw towards the sidelines. I've been saying that all year, you know, but now he's starting to say that now week 7, we got to move the pocket. But for teams that know that they can't protect, they know that they got to move the pocket because there's no other way that you're going to be able to pass the ball. So now he's saying that.
We can't protect it. We can't sit back there and protect him. And that's okay. We know that. So we've got to move the pocket.
They know it now.
Defensively, we just got to get off the field on third down a little more often. I thought our secondary had by far their best game this year. But, you know, we had a 3rd and 15 who jump off sides, a 3rd and 10, and they make the first down. So we just got to be more consistent. We got to, you know, help each other. In other words, we go down and score, we take the lead, it's time to get off the field, you know, and give us the ball back and things of that nature.
Yeah, that sounds good, but we got to be able to do that on cue.
Be more consistent. We're close. I know for the outside world, it doesn't look like we've got a very good football team. I think we do. We just got to find a way, like what you're just asking me, and how to win at the end, you know.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. But yes, I'll say this. You could be close, but you also can be so close, but yet being so far. Like the saying, so close, but yet so far. So being close ain't always the thing, especially, you know, when you break it down. So we'll go ahead and we'll end this one. So I also wanted to take a look at the practice habits of the team to see how they have recovered, to see if they bounce back emotionally. Because when you lose like that, that tends to linger. You know, that's a lingering thing. And when things linger, that affects your preparation for the next, you know, for the next day. I mean, for the next week, you know, if you're thinking about what happened the past week. So, you know, I pay attention to certain things like the practice. A lot of people wouldn't really read much into it, but, you know, me personally, I look at everything, you know, because, you know, I'm a fan and I like to not only watch them on Saturday, I like knowing how I believe my team feels in preparation. Okay, I think that's a drill where they're trying to strip the ball away, working on ball security. And now we got the lineman blocking. Look like they're driving their feet. Looks like they're doing what they're supposed to do. Here.
Hold the damn pad, Paris. They're ready. Sit it.
Wish they block like that in the game. Look like they got pretty good energy.
Good. Hey, go get your face.
It's good that they're working on blocking, but I just hope that it works in games. Good block right there. Nice physical blocking. The team appears to be competing still, and that's a good thing.
Now keep hold on to the shoulder. I want to work some bubbles. Outside, they get inside of it. Climb up. I want to get hands up. Yeah, run. Good. I got it, Jack. I got it, Jack.
Fayetteville is a nice place when you look at the facilities and
All right,
everything.
now, hey, fellas, don't get down here to the ball. Set. Hey, watch it. Ball here. Get down here. Good. Set. Yeah, good job, Jay. Way to fix that much. All right, let's go. Let's try to go another way.
Period 3, Indy. Period 3, Indy.
Sorry, I got it. Set it high. Right ball, security, finish strong. Finish. Drop with the rock. Hey, go. Finish strong.
That's Ty Washington, number 8. He had the 2 touchdowns in the game. Hadn't played all year, but now he looked like he could be a player. I wonder how can you be that good and be that impactful and then don't play to week 6.
1 minute, 7-on-7 versus Scouts. Offense will be on the grass, away side, minus 28. Defense will be in the middle.
So yeah, we are gonna go ahead and it is just a 3-minute deal. So we'll go ahead and stop that. One second, please. Okay, so now we will transition. I like my theme music whenever I like to transition. So we're going to transition into the game coming up. So I looked at Arkansas and Alabama, and I got my notes here. On paper, they actually match up pretty close on paper. Alabama is scoring 31.2 points a game. Arkansas is scoring 31.3 points a game. Alabama's defense is only allowing 15.2, and Arkansas's defense is allowing 25.3. So the defense is, in terms of points allowed, is a big advantage for Alabama. But when you look at them in terms of, how physical one team is in terms of running the ball, Alabama is only 83rd in rushing. Arkansas is 112. So neither team is running or for the year has really ran well. So just like us, Alabama, they're not just, getting, big gains on their runs. They do have 11 touchdowns, and we only have 6 for 111 yards a game for Arkansas, rushing to 143. So Alabama definitely has a slight advantage, but not as big as what you would think. And the run defense, Alabama is 23rd. Arkansas is 47. Arkansas is allowing 3.6 yards a carry. Bama 3.1. So that's similar. Just like the runs, 3.7, 2.9, 3.7 for Alabama. Yeah, that they're better, but neither one is good. Then you get to the pass offense. Arkansas was 79th, and Alabama is 84. So similar, close together. They are allowing getting 9.2 yards per throw, and we are at 8.0. Pass defense, they're at 29th, and we are at 51. So defensively, they are a little bit better than us, but offensively, they are way better than us. So the line is 19. Started out at 18. I think it's up to 19 and a half. Arkansas is a 19 and a half point underdog. It's a lot of points. We know that Alabama has beaten Arkansas a lot historically. So I think that may have played a little bit into, the line being so high, because Alabama is not really covering the spread like that. I think that they covered, last week they were 2-point favorites. So they're not really scoring like that this year. So, and the best thing about both teams are the defenses. So I think this will be another defensive game. I think it'll be a lower scoring. I do think that the issue at hand that could be the deciding factor is offensive line play. Arkansas offensive line is 121st in sacks allowed. Alabama is actually 128, and there's only 130 teams in FBS. So as bad as Arkansas's line is, Alabama line is just as bad, if not worse. Arkansas has given up 23 sacks in the season. Alabama has given up 26 sacks. So both offensive lines are struggling against pressure, and protection. But Alabama is sixth in sacks got, to where they have gotten 22 sacks on the year. So they're sixth in the nation. Arkansas has gotten 16 sacks and they're 27. So the defensive line is the advantage. Both offensive lines struggle. Both offensive running games isn't as potent. Both teams' passing games really ain't potent. So offensively, because I gave you that the numbers, Arkansas is averaging 30.5, Alabama is averaging 30.4. So offensively, they're similar, but the separation is the defense. And Arkansas is going to have to handle the pressure. They're going to stay out of obvious pass situations because you see what's going to happen. Just like Alabama is going to have to stay away from obvious pass situations because Arkansas is decent in the trenches and they are decent against the pass. So I think the game will actually be closer than the 20 points. I think we hang around. Every spread that Arkansas has had this year that has been double digits, Arkansas has covered. So these big numbers, actually, we have played well, being, big underdogs. So, and Alabama had an emotional game, a physical game against Texas A&M last week. A lot of good hitting. And they actually, though they won the game, they were one-dimensional themselves. They didn't run the ball well. They made a ton of penalties, and they were bad on third down. So I don't see neither team scoring many points, but I do see us probably more than likely coming home with an L. So we'll be 2-5. We'll have 4 games left at home out of the 5 that's left. And all 5 of those games, those teams aren't as tough as the teams that you played in the last 4. So maybe the Hogs can get to 6 wins, maybe even 7 if they can win all of them. But time will tell. But we'll see what happens after this Alabama game, and we'll be able to kind of, see where we're going, after all the smoke clear. So this will conclude our podcast today. And again, don't forget to hit the like button if you appreciate the work that we put in for our Razorback content and information for you. And please subscribe to the Press Box 247 if you love our content, if you are feeling us, if you definitely see that we're trying to make a movement here, even though we are rather new. So go ahead and give us a like and a subscribe to the Press Box. So on that note, we'll play our theme music one more time, and we will conclude this podcast. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and until the next time, y'all be safe.